Marc Marquez shattered his right humerus at Jerez in July 2020, and what followed was not just a physical ordeal but a medical horror story. He underwent 4 operations, developed a bone condition called avascular necrosis that left surgeons genuinely uncertain whether he would ever hold a throttle at racing pace again. The arm twisted, the bone died in sections, and the doctors who examined him were not being pessimistic when they expressed doubt, they were being scientific. By every clinical measure, the trajectory pointed toward a career that had already given everything it was going to give. And yet the data surgeons were reading told only half the story, because they were measuring bone density and nerve response, not the particular kind of obsession that lives in certain competitors and simply does not negotiate with reality. What is when Brno revealed was something sport occasionally makes visible but rarely this clearly, that the will to compete at an elite level is not a supplement to physical ability, it is a driver of it. Marquez did not return because his arm healed and then decided to race. He raced, relentlessly and almost recklessly, because that pressure is what forced his body to adapt beyond what passive recovery would have allowed. The psychology researchers call it a growth mindset in its most extreme expression, but in practice it looks less like a mindset and more like an inability to imagine an alternative. The athletes who come back from injuries that end careers are almost universally people who never entertained ending as a real option, not out of arrogance, but because the identity of competitor is so deeply fused with their sense of self that stopping feels less like retirement and more like a kind of disappearance. Marquez crossing the line first was not a miracle. It was the logical outcome of someone who simply refused to update their self-concept to match what the surgeons had written in their notes.